The following is a presentation of the City of Miamisburg, celebrating its bicentennial in 2018. And hello, welcome to the April episode of Let's Talk Miamisburg. Glad to have you with us again. I'm Gary Giles. I'm the city's public information officer. Here's what we have in store for you over the next 30 minutes. A little later in the program, we'll welcome a member of the Spring Fling Organizing Committee to preview this year's event. Of course, Spring Fling is the major annual festival held in Miamisburg, so you'll want to be sure to hear what's in store this year coming up in May. First up, though, we'll turn our attention to the City of Miamisburg's efforts to enforce its property maintenance codes in the community. This is an important topic for homeowners, and we're entering the season in which these issues get more and more attention. Joining me with an update, I'm pleased to introduce Assistant City Manager Tom Thompson.
Hello, Gary.
Before we get to Tom, viewers should be aware that our episode here in April is pre-recorded. As a result, we will be unable to accept questions over the phone. We will, however, be providing you with contact information if you'd like to follow up on any of our topics. Tom Thompson, thank you so much. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
You are appearing today in a new role. You've
Yes.
been with us before as a member of the Miamisburg Police Department.
Yes.
Now, as I mentioned, Assistant City Manager. That kind of all changed last fall, didn't it?
Last fall, I retired from the police department and moved down the hall into this role, so good opportunity.
How long have you been overall with the city, and how's that transition gone for you?
I've been in the city since 1995.
Okay.
Very fortunate to work for such a wonderful city and wonderful people, and so the transition's going well. I'm learning all over again, so
Sure.
It's good stuff.
Sure. Well, good.
Yeah.
And it's good to have you on in your new role.
Thank you.
New
Thank you.
topics and new role.
That's right. Thank you.
We want to spend our time together learning about a couple things that you've been working on in the last few months. The first of these is code enforcement in the community, as I mentioned in the open to the program. We're talking about property maintenance codes. Now, first, tell us what kind of property maintenance that we're talking about overall, and why is this topic important in a community?
Okay. You know, when I moved into my new position, they moved property maintenance underneath me.
Okay.
And what I noticed was the vast majority of violations happen to be just simple violations, like people not mowing their yards, too much trash in the yards, junk motor vehicles, just simple things. And so we're going to first begin with addressing the simple things. The reason these are important is, you know, you have quality of life issues, people that want to be proud of their neighborhoods, property values, you know, if people want to buy or into the area or sell their homes. You also have, coming from where I come from in my past, criminal issues. You know, you have the broken windows theory. The more run down a neighborhood appears, the more likely that crime will creep into the neighborhood. And after mapping all the crime, property crimes, and code violations, which I've done, you can see that that is point on in our community.
Sure.
So I want to address the little issues first.
So we're talking about things that are visually apparent from the outside of a residence, the structure itself and the yard.
Absolutely.
Yard and garden.
Absolutely.
Okay, now the city has a code enforcement officer.
Yes. His name's Scott Montgomery.
Okay.
And we're actually going to add an additional code enforcement officer, probably here within the next couple weeks,
Okay.
to be able to assist in that effort.
That is one of several changes that
Yes.
you're sort of implementing. So walk
Absolutely.
us through those.
Another one of the things that we've done was we began to partner with the police department.
Okay.
And so what I've also noticed is a lot of times there's just pockets of areas that are worse than others. So our code enforcement officer is going to be working alongside a police officer in addressing those issues. We've also met with and will continue to meet with the prosecutor, you know, if we need to use that route. and we're going to be getting some new technology that'll help us to be able to do things in the field and not spend so much time in the office.
What are the enhancements that the new software, the new technology will provide for you,
Um,
for the staff?
A lot of the new technology, one, it's simpler.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the technology people have is decades old. So it's simpler to use, less cumbersome, and we can take tablets out in the field and do our work from the field and compile everything in one case much easier.
Okay. You know, we've had Scott Montgomery on the program before, the code enforcement officer, as Tom mentioned. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here for this month's program, but we have met him before, and like you, a former member of the police department.
Right.
Must be a natural evolution, I suppose.
We'll see.
At least in Miamisburg.
That's right.
Well, let's put a graphic on the screen
Okay.
just to give the viewer a little feel for some of the things they can do as we enter into growing season that will help them just reminder and keep their property meeting the city's code. So let's put that graphic on the screen if we could and take a look. And Tom, I'll just ask you to walk us through this.
Timely grass mowing. 8 inches is the highest you can have your grass. Simple, just mow your grass when it starts getting long. Trash and debris clearing, whether it's branches that you've been pruning, bushes or trees, or it's spare tires or whatever trash you have. Sometimes it's washer and dryers in yards, but clean the trash out of your yard. Very, very simple, not costly at all. We actually have, and you see the number there on the screen, that you can call for a large trash pickup or to ask questions about it, but we actually have a mechanism in place that for free, people in our community can go and call a few days ahead of time before your normal trash pickup, and they will pick up a bulk pickup. If it's upholstered items, they ask that you wrap them in plastic and tape it down. If it's furniture, that you break it down as much as possible. If it's yard waste or branches, that you make it no more than 4 feet and bundle it. And you need to call a couple days, the number on the screen, 847-6635, and schedule it. But for free, we will come by and take that. Also, Rumpke's going to put something out in the mail soon with a little bit more information on that.
And the large items are picked up by Rumpke, correct?
By Rumpke.
On a normal trash pickup
On a normal
day.
trash day.
Just need to
let them know ahead of time.
Sure, sure. Well, those seem like very simple, non-complex items to keep your property looking visually appealing.
Absolutely.
When violations are reported, violations do occur.
Right.
What process do you go through, does the city go through to address those violations?
You know, first and foremost, we want to build a good relationship
Sure.
with the residents in our neighborhood. So the first thing that we're going to do, when practical, is we're going to go try to talk to them and see if we can just verbally let them know, hey, these issues need corrected, and work with them on those. The simple issues, obviously, we'll be expecting a resolve in short order. More complex issues, we'll work with people and give them time. But if, in fact, people just refuse to mow their grass or pick up trash or do some other things, it's important that not only are we focused on the best for single citizens, but also for everybody else that lives around them. So if we have to take it to the next step and we have to get a contractor to do the work for them, unfortunately, we'll need to bill them. If they don't pay the bill, it will get assessed to taxes. There could be, we could cite them through court. But hopefully, we can build the type of relationships that's going to be the exception and not the rule.
Right, right. That's your objective, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're watching Let's Talk Miamisburg, a production of the Miami Valley Communications Council here on Spectrum Cable and AT&T. I'm Gary Giles. You're watching the April episode. As I mentioned at the top of the program, we're not live this month, so no opportunity to call in with questions, but we're going to give you some contact information in just a few minutes. Glad to have you with us. The second thing we want to talk about today, Tom, is a new program that's being rolled out this year. It's called the Senior Care Connection. Tell us what this program is all about and what the city is hoping to accomplish with it.
I'll tell you what, between the mayor and council, we have a wonderful group of leaders in our community that look after those that could be considered vulnerable populations or other. I mean, they really, really want to put things in place to be able to reach and impact the community. And this program is one of those. And we're calling it Miamisburg Care Connections. So at the end of the day, what it is, it's a mechanism so that first responders, police and fire can get all the information that they need to be able to help assist in a certain situation on emergency calls to a home. So for residents 60 or over who generally live at home and suffer from a potentially incapacitating medical condition, they qualify. Those suffer with Alzheimer's or dementia, they qualify. Or it could be someone of any age. Like I spoke with the schools today about people that have communication problems. They might suffer from autism or Down syndrome. They're also welcome to apply. It's completely free. Anything that comes out of it is completely free. And so for example, we have a lockbox program for seniors. If someone hasn't heard from their parent in a couple of days, we'll have access to be able to get into the home without having to break a door in and check on their parents. Home Depot's partnering with us through that, which is very, very generous of them by providing the lock boxes. We'll have more information as we arrive on scene that if someone with Alzheimer's has walked away from the home, where are some additional who are some additional contacts? Where are some places that this person likes to wander to when they're gone? Or since mental health crises is on the top of the list of police officers responding nowadays, and persons with mental health issues have a much higher percentage of use of force from happening with police. They will be notified ahead of time of any special circumstances, the police department will, before they arrive at a home with someone that might be having some mental health issues.
Boy, it really helps. It sounds like it would really help EMS and fire and police officers in responding to a home where you have people residing there that you referred to as being in a vulnerable population. Really gives them sort of a head start on how to respond best, doesn't it?
You know, we even have medical forms that we're going to be putting on magnets in the homes that if someone is non-responsive on a scene, our medic personnel will be able to take that medical form, see what kind of medications the person's on, see what kind of illnesses that they have, and be able to take that with them to the hospital to be able to get a good jump start on helping get them better with having a little bit more knowledge going into it.
Sure.
So
you said Miamisburg and Miami Township
and
residents.
Miami Township.
From a senior perspective, you're looking for people age 60 and over.
Yes.
But there are other qualifying groups of
Right,
population.
60 or over with that generally live alone with a potentially incapacitating medical condition.
Sure.
Anybody of any age with Alzheimer's or dementia, or anybody of any age that suffers from some communication type disorder like an autism or maybe a Down syndrome where they're going to have a difficult time communicating in an emergency situation.
This is just being rolled out.
Just being rolled out.
We're going to put a visual on the screen again for the viewer at home. How do you register?
Right now, you can either register at the Senior Adult Center in Miamisburg. You can pick it up at the Miamisburg Library. They have applications there, and also at the Miami Township Police Department.
So fill out the form, turn it in to
the
Senior Center?
To the Senior Center. At the bottom of the form, it gives you where you can mail it.
Sure.
So you either mail it or drop it off to the Senior Center. Then shortly thereafter, someone will contact you and continue with the process.
Okay, that form available also online at the city's website. And so it's a great thing to look into. Look for more information. We're going to begin publicizing that a little bit more going forward, but it sounds like a great service to citizens and enhancing the whole public safety response issue.
Absolutely. We're very excited about it.
There's one other graphic I want to put up before we say goodbye to Tom. I neglected to do this during our code enforcement segment of our discussion, but let's put up the contact information for Miamisburg's code enforcement officer, Scott Montgomery. Want to put that on the screen. Tom mentioned him. It's scott.montgomery at cityofmiamisburg.org. Tom also mentioned that there will be an additional staff member added soon, but for now, contact Scott, and there's his phone number, 847-6540 to report potential violations that you might notice in the community. Scott relies on those reports very much in his daily duties.
Absolutely.
Tom Thompson, Assistant City Manager with the City of Miamisburg, joining us. Tom, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much,
Look forward to future updates on these and other matters.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to take a 60-second break now. When we return, we're going to change gears. We're going to tell you what to expect from this year's Spring Fling Festival in Miamisburg. Stay with us. And welcome back to Let's Talk Miamisburg. I'm Gary Giles. You're watching the April issue. We are pre-recorded this month, so no opportunity to call in with any questions, but we're going to give you some contact information before we say goodbye. If you have any questions about our next topic, and speaking of our next topic, as promised, it's a pleasure to introduce one of the members of the Miamisburg Spring Fling Organizing Committee. She's been with us before. This is Pat Murphy. Pat, thanks so much.
Thank you, Gary. I'm glad to be here again.
We appreciate your time, especially this time of year as we look forward to the Spring Fling because it's oh so close.
It's busy. We're
Isn't
busy.
it?
Yep.
I
It's
know
getting
it
there.
is.
Not too long.
How long have you been involved now with Spring Fling?
I think I've been doing something in some capacity for about 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And should I ask how long Spring Fling now has been a part of the community?
Actually, this is the 37th
37
year.
years.
Yep.
Wow.
It's really, it just keeps on going.
Well, the dates for this year's event are behind us on the screen. If we can show that, there you see it. May 19th to the 21st this year. That is a Friday through Sunday, as usual. And we'll get into some details in just a moment. But before we look at some of the schedule for this year's event and give people an idea on what to expect, we want to acknowledge here on the program the passing of one of the driving forces behind the Spring Fling Festival, I guess, from the beginning.
From the
right?
beginning,
And that
yep.
would be Mary Goodwin, and we lost her in the past year.
We did, and actually Mary was one of the beginning people of the Spring Fling. Back then they kind of labeled it a picnic in the park, and they put the plans together in 1980. And 1981 was the first festival. So she's been involved with us the whole time, and we miss her dearly, and we will be dedicating a tree to her in the library park, because Library Park is the Spring Fling's baby, and we do a lot there. So we'll be doing that later this year.
Okay, later in the year. Terrific. You know, Mary was on the program here before, but it's been quite a few years since she's been on.
Probably 8 years at least.
But was she involved right to the end, right up to last year's event?
Yeah, the last year she couldn't do very much, but last year she was there in her chair beside the stage the entire time, watching and making sure we did it correctly.
She took a lot of pride.
She still told us how that should go.
Sure,
So
sure.
the very last year after that, then she became ill and couldn't come out anymore.
Well, we certainly send our condolences to all the family and friends of Mary.
yes.
And this was the second year that the committee lost a major driving force, didn't it?
Absolutely. The year before, our chairman, Hazel Isley, passed away. And she has been with the Spring Fling almost the same amount of time as Mary. And, you know, with the loss of the two main characters in our committee, it's been a lot of changes, and
Sure.
a lot of people had to take on some other roles. And the first year we found that we missed some stuff that we didn't know they did.
Well, you're right that they were characters.
Yes, they were.
Am I right?
Both.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, as we start talking through the schedule for this year's event, you've sort of revamped the website and given it a new web address. So adjusted it just slightly,
Yes.
but we want to make sure we mention that.
It's a brand new website, so it's very user friendly where people can apply for a vendor, they can apply and get an application for a parade. A lot of pictures, a lot of contact information, we're trying to bring ourselves into a little more technology.
Sure.
So the new website is miamisburgspringfling.com. We just took out one little thing. So not to confuse you, it's miamisburgspringfling.com.
Let's go back to that wine shop. You can see we've put the address on there too. The word festival is in there as well, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, Miamisburg Spring Fling
Fling
Festival.
Did I miss that? I did miss that.
We don't want to leave out the word festival.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so there's the address on the screen behind us. So if you haven't been on that website before, check it out and give yourself an idea on how to keep track of the weekend schedule. But we're going to talk about that here. We usually do this chronologically.
Yep.
So let's just start with the weekend at the beginning, which would be Friday evening.
Right.
Tell us what to expect.
The carnival kicks us off, so
Okay.
they have the Friday night. A lot of the food vendors also, between the carnival and the Spring Fling, they open for that. So it starts at 5 p.m. and it goes till 10. And the vendors are usually setting up during that time for the craft show. And so that's all we have on Friday night until the next morning, which is something you're very familiar with, which is the parade. And that kicks off at 9:45. This year we have chosen a Grand Marshal for his participation and all the things that go on in Miamisburg, and it's Jeff Nestor. He's been in business here in town since Nestor Insurance since 1962, and has really helped with a lot of things, including he's in the Rotary and the Miamisburg Merchants Associations, and he's helped with the Thunder Cruise that they do in the summer. So we're really happy to have him because he kind of quietly works, and a lot of people, that's what they do, and they don't get the praise that they need for all the good works. So.
Now, is the parade route the same as it traditionally has been?
It is exactly the
It is.
same.
So if you've ever been to the Spring Fling Parade, we invite you to come out, take that in. It will launch from the Mound parking lot, the Mound facility parking lot, 9:45. So it's going to come down and become visible down in the Miamisburg area around Main Street and then Central Avenue up to the park right around 10 o'clock or so. And once again this year, the parade will be cable cast live on this channel. I'll be there along with Miamisburg Mayor Dick Church Jr. to provide some commentary as the parade goes by the Civic Center area. So if you can't make it out, and we sure hope you will, we invite you to take it in on cable television live that morning. Right around 10 o'clock will be our starting time. And you mentioned the Grand Marshal. A lot of times we'll have the Shriners there as entries. Can we expect the Shriners back this
They
year?
will be there, and all the little cars and the horses and all the
Okay.
good stuff. All the teams that we love to watch the young kids. They have a great time, and some businesses, bands. So we have a lot of groups too that
Sure.
love to participate. So it's full as usual. It's really fun, and the Calliope, we love that. So we're expecting them again this year.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of kids come out. A lot of families. It's
Yes,
a good
yes,
parade.
they really enjoy it.
And then things sort of end right at 5th Street where the park is,
Right.
Library Park, and that's the centerpiece of Spring Fling activities and what's going on
and
Saturday.
that's when it all starts.
for
and
someone who hasn't been before.
That's when it really gets going. All the band is coming in, all the vendors. We have, this is a festival, so we have arts and crafts. We have service booths, local, parks and recs they're handing out, small businesses also, and a few commercial booths. So it's a mixture of a lot of things that people want to see and take care of, like sign up for the Wii Vikes and do their soccer sign up and things like that. So it's very helpful. And that's at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. And that goes till 6 Saturday night.
Okay.
Now, we are still accepting a few applications. We're almost full, but I always save some spots for the end for the really good arts and crafts that really have something different to show the community. So if you do have a handmade arts and craft or just paintings or something like that, we do have a few more spots.
Booths and booths of local artisans.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's really fun.
Okay. What else going on in the park?
We have music all day. It starts at noon, and that is local musicians and talent that want to just share what they're doing. And sometimes we have the Miamisburg Theater Group, or we have entertainment with bands. So you never know what you're going to get, but it's all free family entertainment all weekend.
Sure.
Along with that too, you know, a lot of times the children are too small for the rides and the carnival, so they can't do as much of that. So we provide children's activities in the gazebo. And a lot of that is free. They make crafts and they make visors, and some of the games are quarter games just to give them an opportunity to play. The food booths, we have over 20. A few new ones this year, a few aren't coming, and we've filled all those in. So any kind of carnival food you want, hot dogs, cotton candy, and anything.
Now we're talking.
Is going to be there. Barbecue, everything's there. So people come for the food.
Sure.
Basically, we have plenty for you to do. You know,
And the carnival will still be going on?
Absolutely.
The rides and
Same
games
time
behind
from
the
10
park.
in the morning till 10 in the evening. And the carnival is very family friendly. They have a lot of games that are, if you play, you win. So I think that's important that, you know, and there's carnival rides for the teenagers and for the younger ones.
Sure.
So yeah, we love them. They're really good to us, and they're very respect our community and our families, and so the carnival's a great place to be.
Okay. And how about
Sunday, yeah. Sunday, we do that one more time at noon to 6, and usually the carnival has a band that you can buy, and it's a little less expensive for your group when you take your whole family, and they haven't given us that price, but they'll be there from noon to 6, and there will be like a general band that you can purchase for a really good price and ride all day. And then the crafts and all the service booths and the food will all be there from noon to 6, and then we're all done.
Okay.
It's all over like that. It's done.
Exhale, right?
Yes, it's
You
a
and your
wonderful
fellow community
time.
members.
It's a wonderful time, and you know, we love doing it, and we really love sharing with the community. You know, people do it every year. They see their friends, they run into old friends, and it helps us. We collect different monies from different areas in the whole festival, and then we put that back in the community.
That's
and
what I wanted to ask you
yeah,
about.
we find some different ways. Every year we do something a little different. We do maintain the park a lot. We make sure that the library park is useful to everyone, different groups in town. We help contribute with the city to the beautiful memorial section that's out there in the front now. It's very nice with all the flowers, the flower pots around town. So we do this because we want to give back.
You put those proceeds right back into a
We
community
do.
project.
We absolutely do. We just turn it over each year, and people let us know what they need, and we decide how far we can spread that.
Well, you've benefited the city organization on more than one occasion through the years,
we
especially
have.
as it pertains to public safety
We did.
needs in
Yep.
the community. And I know those are very much appreciated.
Yes, we're glad to do it. We're glad to do it. Our committee's a little smaller, and but we're still working really hard. So anybody wants to help,
Are you
we're
looking for new
we're
members
open for members.
for next
open
year?
for members. So yes, come on out and help us. We would really appreciate it.
Sure.
So it's fun. We are getting more volunteers. I think it's been there so many years that people know what's going on and they want to come down and help us.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
manage all that traffic and keep everything running smoothly.
Well, let's reiterate the contact information. If people want to follow up for more information, let's give them an email
Okay.
address, the website address.
Okay, the website is, as we said, miamisburgspringflingfestival.com. Our email, you can email us at miamisburgspringfling@yahoo.com. And you can just go on Facebook and search for Miamisburg Spring Fling, and we'll answer all your questions on Facebook.
Oh, you got to be on Facebook.
So we are into the technology, and we're ready to go.
Okay, Pat Murphy, Miamisburg Spring Fling Organizing Committee. Thank you so much
right.
for being
Thank
here.
you. Thanks for having me.
May 19th through the 21st. Hope you can be there. I'm Gary Giles. We'll see you next month here on Let's Talk Miamisburg.